Several members of parliament, especially those voted for the bill, have felt the wrath of their constituents who have labelled them betrayers. Our Kakamega-based reporter Alan Ochanda now joins us live from Lurambi, Member of Parliament Bishop Titus Kamala, as he tries to put into perspective the current situation facing MPs. Ochanda, good morning.
Well, good morning to you. It's a fine morning here in Kakamega, specifically Lurambi constituency. And of course, as in the last 2 weeks, there has been this unique development where members of parliament have faced sort of hostility, especially those who voted for the contentious Finance Bill 2024. And they have sort of gone into hibernation because of the online threats by Gen Zs who've threatened to even eject them from churches, because it's been sort of a tradition by members of parliament to throng churches, especially on Sundays, and just partaking in Harambe's fundraisers, and what sort of hyped the Gen Zs was the show of extravagance, where some members of parliament have been just showing words of cash and in excess of 20 million shillings. That also act those are the new generation that is now Christ and Gen Zs. But here we are joined by the Member of Parliament for Lurambi, who also wears that cap as a bishop in the church that has just been mentioning to us, of course, on air. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa. We've actually seen your colleagues, some of your colleagues in the country, specifically those who voted for this particular bill. They have faced hostility. First, how do you, as members of parliament, intend to ensure that moving forward, you will be averting such a scenario where on bills of national interest, you take maybe a stand that appears to go in tandem with the needs and aspirations of Kenyans, and avert similar happenings?
Yeah, Alan, you know, we are in parliament, and the reason why we are in parliament as members of parliament is because over 50 million people cannot sit in that house. So being a member of parliament, you are not supposed to listen to your, of course you listen to your party leader to some limits and some minimums. But the important, significant, and most importantly, the stakeholders, the people who took you to parliament are voters. And remember, voters are not only ascribed to one political party. People vote you from different political parties. They are called voters. So we need to have a change of heart and behavior as members of parliament. And I was talking to the Gen Z yesterday. I had a great meeting in town, and we had a conversation. And I told them what they have done is a good thing. It's not of the devil. Because I strongly believe that God will wake you up from slumber. We were becoming wayward. We were becoming big-headed, materialistic, and we were thinking that once we elected, even some of us members of parliament, we are those who think that this constituent is in my pocket. There's nothing you can do. You can't remove me. That attitude is an attitude of pride, and I think what has happened, God wanted to bring us down to where we are supposed to be. So it's a good thing. But running out members of parliament, banning property, government premises, or people's homes, that is not something we want to kind of inscribe in the lives of our young people. Our young people, the Gen Zs and Alphas, should do better than us. Where we went wrong, because if we did mandamano and we banned people's homes, or we were involved in skirmishes and tribal uprisings or insurrections, I don't want my children to go the same way. I want my child to change governance through democratic processes. And that's why I told the Gen Zs yesterday that they have an opportunity between now and 2027 to register as voters, because these kids, you put their numbers, their numerical strength, they can even put somebody they want in the State House. Even me, psychologically I'm set. If Gen Z wants to be a member of parliament of Lurambi, psychologically I'm set. My church members are prepared to receive me back. So why ban my home? Because when you go and destroy a CDF office, because I'm not a good leader, where will you sit when you become an MP? So that destruction part, we say no, and they can pick it, but also infiltration of other politicians, other players, other silent people, other silent movers, clandestine maneuvers, like what the preacher said in Homer Bay, jungle maneuvers of the devil. You remember when Ajakwand, the one who was praying, we have such a people again who have infiltrated the movement of the Gen Zs and causing all this violence that we are seeing. So I think running members of parliament is not the best. Trying to make them persona non grata is not the best, because supposing they do all this and they don't have the strength of voting, don't you think the same people will come back?
Maybe, Mheshimiwa, we've seen some members who voted for that particular bill, going to the extent of even printing T-shirts and wearing them with their spouses. Inscribed, of course, such a monikers like, I am sorry, that apology. Are they well-meaning? Are they genuine with their apology? Because of some members are going to record videos and apologizing to the respective electorates in their constituencies, some printing T-shirts. Are they genuine?
Everybody has their own way of apologizing because they failed to listen to the ground. And as I've said, if you are an elected leader, don't listen to Bwana Kubwa. You will sink. The day you will sink, Bwana Kubwa will look for your popular opponent. That is where your Bwana Kubwa will go to. And I'm repeating, Bwana Kubwa will never be there for you when this electorate punish you. You will be told how you will be given a tarmac road, how you will be given, like this C41. Should I just vote yes because C41 will be tarmacked? I was born when it is there. C41. And even when I leave as an MP, C41 will be there. And even people are moving on it. Who told you they are not crossing the river Sassal and going where they're supposed to go? So when you peg the aspiration, you sacrifice the aspirations of your voters because you are pursuing an agenda, how sure you'll get it? So the whole idea is, maybe that is their style of apologizing. If I were me, supposing I had voted yes, of course I wouldn't vote yes with gunshots. There were blasts all over the Nairobi. We were there saying I vote yes, I vote no, and it was burning out. How would I have continued to vote yes? Hata kama ni mimi nikiziwi. So if I had voted yes, I wouldn't print a T-shirt, I wouldn't make a video, I'll just disappear from the face of the earth for 3 months. When I come back, my disappearance is a natural forgiveness. So each person has their way. But I will tell you this because I know time is limited. Alan, when you go to parliament and somebody tells you, cross from your party, come to my party because I will do this and this for you. They have, like UDA and Kenya Kwanza have like 190 MPs. They have the majority. That is the main house of President William Ruto. Me in ODM, if I go there, I go like Mpango wa Kando. Mpango wa Kando. Now, this man has to feed all his children before he comes back to me as Mpango wa Kando, rented somewhere in the market. When will he reach me? You know, Mpango wa Kando will just be told, come, I'll buy you land, I will do this, I'll do for you this, I will help your kid to go to kindergarten. Once you have arrived, the man goes back to his home. So I think let us have party discipline. If you are in the minority side, be content to be on the minority side. If you want government, try to fight it in 2027 and be on the right side of winning.
Right. Yeah. Well, finally, quite briefly, we've seen the president and, of course, the head of public service, Felix Koskei, they're now coming up with a committee that will now listen to the youth. They need maybe, of course, these are more than 20 million youth. They can only be listened to through their leaders, yet they claim they are faceless, they are leaderless. And their grievances can be condensed into a memorandum. Maybe as a leader, how should this be approached? Should it be done maybe in the counties or town halls? What is the mode of maybe listening to them?
I am the least qualified to advise His Excellency the President. He has better advisors than me. But having been around in these political circles as a youth winger for Mzee Jaramogi and people like Shikuku, Akina Mliro, I've come a long way into Fort Kenya with Wamalwa. I even served as a councillor here in Kakamega Municipal Council. And also I'm in the church. I have over 30 years of being out there. I would say that we that voted no are the people who listen to the grassroots, to the ground. Let's not live in some kind of denial or some kind of a figment of imagination. We have to live a reality and not live a lie. The ground in Kenya, from end to end, did not want the finance bill. However good it was, however well it meant for posterity and clearing the debts, the people just didn't want. So, truth be said, that we listened. I think we should also not be treated with being vilified by state agencies, the way I had Ricky G claim that we will be targeted. Me, I'm just a bishop. I don't even own anything. The only house I owned in Milimani, the government demolished a house that I had owned for 24 years. So the only thing they can demolish is this church. And if they demolish the church, they can't demolish the call in me, because I can preach anywhere. My advice is we should not be vilified, but Kenyans, we that voted no, we are the ones that Kenyans can listen to right now. We be engaged so that we can speak. I spoke to Gen Zs yesterday, hundreds of them, and they listened to me, and we can have a conversation. Otherwise, if you talk about leaders, who are the leaders of the group? Tribalists, faceless, don't have a religion, don't have a political party. They are wealthy. Some of them come from rich families. They eat KFC. They have iPhones. Like my children, all of them are Gen Z. They are in Gen Z. They didn't riot because of wherever they are, but they support the movement. Those who won't call them for a handout, they won't come. So let us all leaders engage the young people.
Nice. Well, thanks so much. We shall still be engaging the Member of Parliament, who is also a bishop, Member of Parliament for Lurambi, in the Swahili Bulletin. But just a snippet from what he says is that he is not best placed to advise the president on the mode of engagement with the youth, but he believes that they can be engaged and, of course, arrive at a ceasefire and, of course, a solution for posterity. And also on the issue of members of parliament who voted for the contentious bill apologizing, he says all of them have their unique ways of apologizing. So we shall still be maybe having a conversation during the Swahili Bulletin.
Well, thank you, Alan Ochanda, for that. Alan Ochanda.